This morning I got an email from the clinic where I'll be going to have my surgery, and part of what they do is they help you set up everything like accommodations and making sure you have somebody to help you afterwards for the first couple of days. They send you some supplements to take before and after that help with healing and help with prepping your body for a surgery. So there's kind of a lot to do, and since my surgery is coming up pretty quickly, like I think usually it would be a couple of months out from the time that you were doing your consultation to the time you actually had your surgery scheduled. But since right now I'm kind of on a little break from riding and traveling, I had asked them basically like how soon I could get in so that I could try to get this done and really be healed and recovered and able to go back to normal activity or to start riding again sooner than later, because that is going to start happening pretty quickly here as we move into spring. So yeah, I just wanted to get it scheduled as quickly as I could, and luckily they had an opening in March, but that does mean that the process is sped up a little bit and I have a lot of things that I have to kind of get organized between now and then to make sure that I'm ready. So I'm definitely feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I have a lot of questions that I want to ask. And if there's one thing I learned from my previous surgeries, like my jaw surgery, my wrist surgery, is to write down all your questions and just ask all of your questions, even if you feel like they're maybe kind of silly. Just if you have questions, just ask them. At least for me, it makes me feel so much better to kind of mentally prepare that way and just really know exactly what I'm getting into, not have any surprises coming up closer to the actual surgery date or anything that's gonna like stress me out really close to then. I want to go into it knowing that like my body and my brain are really prepared for this and I'm not gonna have additional stress, or I'm not gonna be worried. I mean, obviously I'll be a little bit nervous, but just kind of eliminating all of those little thought loops or questions that will inevitably come up with something like this. I just find that I feel a lot better if I ask all of my questions as they come up and just make sure that I feel really comfortable and calm going into it. So I'm gonna try to set up a phone call with the clinic's coordinators to make sure that we can go over everything and start getting the ball rolling, since this is coming up pretty quickly. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning. I'm about to go get a workout in. I mentioned yesterday that I had an email from the clinic where I'm going for my surgery with a whole bunch of information about kind of setting up everything in preparation for my stay and being there and post-op and all that kind of thing. I'm still trying to connect with the person there who I need to talk to about all of that. So I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to get on a call with them today and just kind of figure everything out, because I do need to like make reservations, kind of figure out where I'm gonna be staying, what the whole process is. And then this evening, actually, I have a call with the nurse at the clinic, or one of the nurses there, that's going to go over all of my pre and post-op stuff and just kind of cover whatever I need to know in preparation. I'm guessing that like given my jaw surgery and the other procedures that I've had over the past few years, that it's not going to be like a ton of new information. It's probably going to be a lot of the same stuff that like I had to do for other surgeries. So hopefully there won't be anything too surprising or unexpected there. I think it's all going to be pretty standard, and in comparison with a surgery where like you have to go under general anesthesia, since this surgery is just sedation, I think it's going to be like a lot less intense process. But I have that meeting this evening. I'm curious to hear what she has to say. And then Thursday morning, I just have my pre-op like medical appointment. So I just have to go into general practitioner and basically get cleared to be able to have a surgery. So I think they have to do a couple different tests, kind of check my health history, check that my body can handle something like this, I guess, and sign off on my surgery papers. So that will be Thursday morning. Not gonna lie, all of this, just because it's happening pretty quickly, my mind is spinning a little bit on all of this. Again, because I've had a few surgical procedures in the past couple of years, I'm not like really worried about that part of it. It doesn't really make me that nervous. It's more all the logistical stuff around it, especially with traveling to get there and just kind of feeling like I'm prepared for the pre and post-op. I do feel like my mind is kind of running a million miles an hour, which is another reason why I'm making sure to get my movement in, get my workouts in, kind of get that excess energy out and focus on something else for a little bit. So going to go do an upper body workout this morning and then get on with the day. Also, if you've been following along my little workout shoe trial situation, I did end up ordering 2 other pairs of workout shoes to try in a smaller size, and finally found the ones that I like the best. The smaller size did end up being better, and then I was able to get the color that I wanted. So now I have got my workout shoes and I really like them. I'm doing okay, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Well, during this time, I typically go over a couple of different things. We got form that you sent me, talk a little bit about your health history, and then we kind of just focus on after that things to expect the day of surgery and after during the recovery.
Hello, good morning. It's Wednesday morning, and last night was kind of rough, not gonna lie. See from my Oura Ring data that my sleep was kind of disrupted. I had a call with the nurse yesterday in the clinic where I'll be having my surgery, and we spent like an hour on the phone going over a whole bunch of pre-op stuff, and it honestly was just really overwhelming and kind of got my mind spinning. And I probably should not have scheduled this call like late in the evening, but because they're in a different time zone, like that's what worked out best for them. So it ended up being like a little too close to bedtime when I was trying to wind down, and like my brain was really just ruminating on all these things that I have to prepare for. And I think it just kind of like sort of reality hit of like, this is happening and it's happening really fast. And I think I'm still kind of just wrapping my head around the fact that I am choosing to have cosmetic surgery, and that still just feels kind of weird to me and like just not something I ever expected to be part of my identity, I guess. I think all of that is just, it was a little overwhelming last night, and I was just in and out of sleep. I was having very weird dreams, felt kind of restless and anxious. And I know that will go away with time and as I get things more organized and kind of just feel more prepared and more mentally prepared going into this. And ultimately in the end, it's like a couple of weeks here before the surgery and a couple of weeks after where I'm gonna have to be in the recovery phase, and then it's gonna be kind of behind me. And thankfully, having done the jaw surgery and been through that and been through a really long recovery and a really long preparation, I do feel like I have a lot of like mindset tools to manage this kind of thing. But even though I do feel a lot more nervous and honestly more anxious about this surgery and this whole procedure than I did with my jaw surgery, I know ultimately, like I still feel really good about my decision to do it. I don't have any reservations about actually going through with it. I think it's just maybe a little more involved than I was expecting. And again, because it's happening quickly, and like with the jaw surgery, there was so much prep and there was so much time beforehand to really understand what was going on and what the recovery was going to be like, and to really mentally prepare for it. I think that's partly what's making me feel more nervous about this, is just that I have less time. But anyway, last night was not great, not feeling super good this morning, but I did get a little bit of a workout in. That always helps kind of calm my nerves when I'm more anxious too, so that was good. It also kind of like takes me a while to process things, like especially in a situation where I'm on a phone call and I'm getting a whole bunch of information thrown at me. I don't like the questions that I have don't come up right then. Like it's gonna take me a couple of days to be like, oh wait, what about this or what about that? I'm kind of just trying to make sure that whenever I think of something, a question I have or something I want to clarify, that I write it down so that I can make sure I have all my questions answered. And I know that as I just like get a little more information, get a little more clarity and everything, I will also start to feel better about it all. Anyway, I'll talk a little more about what all is coming up with that later, because I do have to run. Luckily, I have a massage appointment scheduled this morning. It's just a 30-minute massage, but I think that'll really help just release some of this tension, give me a chance to decompress, calm down my nervous system a little bit. And then later today, I'm actually going to be talking with another person at the clinic that kind of helps with all the logistical pieces, like setting up your accommodations and making sure you have all like your pre-op and post-op appointments scheduled and everything like that. And then tomorrow morning, I have my just like general practitioner checkup pre-op appointment, a little bit of paperwork that they need to fill out and just do a few tests on me beforehand, clear me for a surgical procedure. And actually this afternoon, two other things that sort of popped up yesterday that I think maybe are also contributing to the overall sense of just feeling a little scattered and anxious. For one, I now have to take my car in this afternoon because like a whole bunch of warning lights randomly came on yesterday. Thankfully, it's still safe to drive it, they said, but I do need to like get it in there as soon as possible so they can figure out what's going on. That was a little bit of an unplanned situation that I have to deal with today. And I know I mentioned before that I had gone to my orthodontist a few weeks ago and they were ordering some new Invisalign trays for me and had just told me to kind of keep wearing the ones that I have for now until the new ones come in, but the ones that I have now have started to feel really uncomfortable. So the main issue that we're trying to fix is that I have too much contact on my right side and not enough contact on my left side. And when I put the Invisalign in, it feels like it's making the problem worse right now. Like it used to feel pretty fine. And for some reason now when I have them in, like I feel like I can't even really like rest my mouth comfortably because I have always have contact on the right side and have like no contact on the left. It just feels really awkward, and I actually feel much better when I don't have them in. Like things feel more even and more comfortable when I don't have them in. And I've had a few times in the last couple of nights where I've had to take them out at night just because I felt like I was not necessarily like grinding my teeth, but just kind of like clenching a little bit on the right side, and just, again, it was really uncomfortable and felt better without them. So I emailed my orthodontist this morning and was just like, what's going on? Or like, what should I do while I'm still waiting for the new Invisalign to come in? Because I think it's going to be another like 2 weeks before those get in. And they suggested that I try wearing them like half of the time instead of, you know, full time or most of the day, and see if that helps. So I guess I'm going to try that, but it's just like another little thing where creating a little discomfort. I didn't really know what to do about it. It doesn't feel great. Kind of added it to my sense of anxiety the last couple of days. But all that said, I know these things are temporary. We will keep moving forward, and sure, after a good night's sleep and just getting a few more things organized and checked off my list for this surgery prep, I'm going to feel a lot better about it all. And I'm going to be off to my massage, so hopefully that will help too. So I'm heading over now to my pre-op appointment, or just the appointment where they kind of do general checkup. I think I have to do like some blood work and maybe an EKG as well. So I'm hoping this goes pretty quickly and I'm not there for hours and hours. I'm not actually totally sure how this works, like if they can do all the testing on the same day or if they're gonna have me come back or what is going to happen. So going to head over there now. They can get it all in this morning and check that one off the list. Okay, that ended up taking a little over an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes total, but got everything done. I got all the paperwork filled out, got my blood drawn for the blood work they need, and got the EKG done. I'm really glad I was able to get everything in today and just kind of not have to think about that. They did want me to get this done as soon as possible because they need to have this information and like the blood work to get the results and stuff at least a week before my actual procedure, and they preferred a little bit earlier, so kind of the faster I could get that done, the better. So all that is complete, and I do still have some more questions that I kind of keep thinking up more questions I need to send to them, but feeling a little more organized, a little less anxious about it all. Good morning, happy Saturday. I am about to run out the door to the chiropractor, and then I have a nail appointment after that, but definitely needing the chiropractor this morning. I was very uncomfortable last night and still pretty uncomfortable this morning. Sometimes it just sort of comes out of nowhere. Like I was feeling pretty good all week, didn't have a lot of pain or tension, and then last night it just kind of all of a sudden hit me and I felt like everything kind of hurts again. So glad I have this chiro appointment this morning, really hoping it's going to help so that I can have a little more enjoyable, less uncomfortable weekend. Alright, got to my chiro. Definitely helped. I still am feeling some tension and pain, but better than I was before for sure. I just had my nail appointment. Went with red today, which is not usually my color, but I don't know why. I was just sort of feeling red. Now I'm gonna head home. I do have a few like random little errands I need to do today or tomorrow, but I also still have some more stuff I need to kind of go through to prep for my surgery, just like paperwork. I have to read through a bunch of stuff, make sure I write down any other questions I have. I want to get through some of that today as well, and we'll just see what else we get up to today. Oura Ring data looks really good. It had been trending down a little bit for the past week, maybe a little more than a week, and I wasn't totally sure why. I kept doing all the things that I know help in terms of my sleep and recovery, so I'm glad to see that it's kind of back trending upwards again. This morning I do still have some residual tension and pain that had kind of really hit me yesterday. One thing that always helps is getting some movement, getting the muscles warm, getting everything loosened up again. So we'll go do a workout, and even though my recovery and sleep scores are really good, if I'm not feeling super great during my workout in terms of just pain or whatever, I'll still just go a little easier or make sure that I'm not causing more inflammation if I already am a little bit inflamed. So we'll see how I feel during the workout, but I know at least some movement will help.